Hi, I'm John Hayes. I'm a bankruptcy attorney uh, in the San Fernando Valley, Southern California. I've been doing this for 40 years. I'm a certified bankruptcy specialist, certified by the State Bar of California. I'm in the firm of Resnick, Hayes, Maradi. My partners, Matt Resnick and Roxana Maradi Brovia, are also certified bankruptcy specialists. We do all bankruptcies. We do some creditor work. That's basically all we do, and we've been doing it for a long time. I thought today I would talk about Chapter 7. What does that mean? And how do I know whether I qualify or not? So first of all, Chapter 7 is sometimes called a liquidation. A trustee is appointed. The trustee is supposed to sell your property that isn't exempt and give the money to the creditors. So before you start worrying too much about that, literally 97% of all Chapter 7 cases, there's nothing to sell. These cases we call no asset cases. It's a whole lot of forms. Your debts go away instantaneously, with a bunch of exceptions. There's actually 19 exceptions. But it's about a month after you file, there's a thing called a meeting of creditors. You meet with the trustee. The trustee does about 15 of these per hour. The meeting is 5, 6, 8 minutes. The trustee looks at your forms and he says, did you read these? Are they true? Did you list all your assets? Did you list all your creditors? And that's pretty much it. Again, creditors rarely show up. If a creditor did show up, the trustee would allow them to ask a few questions about property, and that would be it. You wait a couple months and to see whether any creditors object. And if nobody objects, which is, again, it's almost always the case, your discharge is entered and the case is over. What if you have property that you don't want to lose, that the trustee might actually sell? If that's the case, you don't file Chapter 7, the trustee will sell it. But you can file Chapter 11 or Chapter 13. In both of those cases, you keep your property, you propose a plan, and I'll talk about that at a different time. There's a lot of rules. All right, so I'm asked a lot, well, how do I know whether I qualify? People have heard that, well, some people can't file Chapter 7. And, that's true, but almost everybody can file. If you ask me, can I file without even asking you any questions, I'll probably say almost surely you can. So how do we know who can't? And some people can't, that's true. So the general rule is you can't file Chapter 7 and just walk away from all your debts if you have sufficient income to pay some meaningful portion of your unsecured debts over 3 to 5 years. If you can pay 10% of your debts, the creditor's attitude is, well, 10% is better than nothing. If you can afford to pay 10%, you should file Chapter 13, pay the 10%, and Chapter 13 will wipe out the rest. So, almost everybody's response to that is, I wouldn't be talking to you if I could pay my debts, I don't have enough money. I run out of months before I run out of money. Of course, so do I qualify? And unfortunately, it's not quite that simple. although it's simpler than you may think. The first, to figure out whether you qualify, whether you don't have to worry about Chapter 13, again, you have to look at your income. So Congress has told us that if your income is less than the median income in your state, you qualify. All right, so we're in California. How do you know what the median income in your state is? I looked it up before I started this. For a single person in the state of California, the median income is $62,000. That's a pretty high number if you ask me. If you're married, 2 people in the house, the median income is $82,000. That could be a single mother with a child at home. It could be a person and their mother's living with them. It's a 2-person household, $82,000. 3-person household, $91,000. 4-person household, $105,000. A husband and wife, 2 kids, 4 people in the house. If the total income is less than $105,000 per year, you qualify for Chapter 7. What if you're over the median income? Well, that's where this animal called the means test comes in that you may have heard of. The means test is a 9-page form, and it's kind of a job to fill out. And it's complicated. It's way beyond what I can talk about during this short little presentation. But I'll tell you this, when you're figuring out whether you have the means to pay some portion of your debt, you get to deduct secured debt. So you can deduct your house payment, no matter how high it is. You know, if you make $200,000 a year and you have an $8,000 a month house payment, you probably pass the means test. But you can deduct your car payments, possibly not all of your car payments, but you can deduct payments on secured debt in order to figure out whether you have the means to pay some meaningful portion of your unsecured debt. All right. So people who have meaningful income and no house may not qualify. A husband and wife, again, with 2 kids who make more than $105,000 a year and don't have a house payment may not qualify for Chapter 7. What that means is they have to file Chapter 13. They have to pay some portion of their income every month for 3 to 5 years. Well, if they're over the median, then they have to pay for 5 years. But people who have a house, a couple cars, an RV, the jet ski, the solar panels on your house that you're making payments to a secured creditor, almost surely you pass the means test. When you come to see us, we're going to need to see your income for 6 months before you file, and to some extent your expenses, and we'll put them into our computer, run the forms, and see whether you qualify or not. But again, if you're under the median, we check a box that says you're under the median, you qualify. All right, so if you have any questions, I'm going to do another one of these in a week or so and talk about just property. What property can the trustee sell? There are things the trustee can sell. And then I'm going to do one after that on what debts are not discharged. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, again, I'm John Hayes. Give us a call. The phone number is 818-285-0100. We have a website at rhmfirm.com. It's R as in Robert, H as in Hayes, that's me, M as in Mary or Marathi, rhmfirm.com. Give us a call, and thank you for listening.